Hello friends and welcome to Tutorials Point. Well, don't we all love to get compliments, and of course we love to give them as well, isn't it? So these words, which describe, or to be more precise, these words through which we give compliments or get them, these words come in the category of adjectives. So don't you think it's really important because our day-to-day lives are so full of compliments? So let's go ahead and study about adjectives. Okay, so what do actually adjectives do? So adjectives actually are words which describe nouns or pronouns, right? So let's first read the definition. Adjectives are descriptive words that modify nouns or pronouns. So in short, whenever you have to tell more about or you have to describe the noun or the pronoun that you're referring to, you use adjectives. Now, depending upon the type of adjective that you've used, it will give the specific information about the noun or pronoun that you're referring to, right? Now, there's another one thing which is very important about adjectives, and that is they remain the same for singular and plural nouns or pronouns. So let's look at an example. Now, he lost his favorite pen. Or if you say he lost his favorite pens, this adjective will not change, right? So though the noun which you've used here has changed from singular to plural, but the adjective which you've used here doesn't change. Now same goes for this. I have a red dress, or I have many red dresses. So the adjective here is red, but it doesn't change irrespective of the noun, whether it is singular or plural, it is not going to change. So just remember this thing clear in your mind. Okay, so here are a few more examples. For example, cute baby. So here you are defining the baby, right? So this word which you've used here is doing the work of an adjective. Same goes for beautiful garden or tall and short buildings, or for that matter, colorful butterflies. So what are these words doing? They are describing the noun or the pronoun that you are referring to. So in short, they are acting as adjectives because they are telling you something more about the noun or pronoun. So which exactly is the work of an adjective? So let's go ahead and study about the types of adjectives. Okay, so basis the information, as I already told you, basis the information which the adjective is giving, it is classified in various types, right? So, of course, it could be adjectives of quality, of quantity, it could be demonstrative, or they could be adjectives of comparison, right? So, basis, as we already told, as we already discussed, the basis the information that they are giving you about the noun or pronoun, they are categorized into different classes. So let's go ahead and study about this interesting and humongous class of words which is used in the English language. Okay. So first of all, adjectives of quality. So, quality is a word which we use in our day-to-day language, isn't it? So whenever we refer to the quality of a particular thing, what are we referring to? We are probably, telling more about the size, the shape, or the color, right? So on and so forth, different characters, isn't it? So same work is done by adjectives of quality. So what do they do? What do they actually describe? So they describe the size, shape, color and manner, or in short, they tell you of what type is the noun or pronoun that they are referring to. Look at an example. The big hotel is built last year. So here big is telling you about the quality of the hotel, right? So here it is acting as an adjective of quality. He is a nice guy, again telling a character of a person. So that also comes in the category of adjective of quality. Sarah is a beautiful girl, or she is an honest employee, or Naina has a black dog. So what are these words doing? They are telling you about the quality of the noun or pronoun with which they are attached. So in short, they are acting as adjectives of quality. Okay, So what about adjectives of quantity? So what would they tell us? So this is a very common word that we use in our day-to-day life, isn't it? Quantity. So what does quantity refer to? So or what is quantity? What does it mean when we use this word? So this word quantity means nothing but how much or how many, isn't it? So what is the quantity of milk or quantity of pens or quantity of books? So what does it tell you? It tells you about how much or how many. So same work is done by adjectives of quantity. Now they tell us about the quantity of noun or pronoun. In short, they are going to tell you how much or how many. So look at some examples. I took some notebooks. So some here is telling you about the quantity of notebooks. Hence, it comes in the category of adjectives of quantity. They had enough plates, or he gave all his pens. So what is the work which is done by these words? They are telling you about the quantity. He has no qualification. So here this word no, which means when you're not in agreement with a particular thing in your day-to-day language, but here this word no is acting, is doing the work of saying zero, or it's telling zero. It's what does it point out to? It tells you about the quantity, right? So hence here no is doing the work of an adjective of quantity. You did not take any book. So here any is again telling you about the quantity. Many students were present today. Or I have completed most of my work. Or for that matter, I don't have much time. So all these words here are telling you about the quantity of the noun or pronoun, right? So they are doing the work of adjectives of quantity. Okay. So then you have demonstrative adjectives. So what are demonstrative adjectives? So let's just see the definition. They are used to modify a noun so that we know which specific person, place or thing is mentioned. So what are the examples? This, that, these, those. So in short, they help you to point out and identify a particular noun or pronoun that they are referring to. Hence, they also are doing the work of an adjective. So such class of words which actually point out, right? So the simple answer is just point out, you'll get to know. So these words which point out and tell you the answer, they are nothing but demonstrative adjectives. Now, I'm sure right now you'll be confused about between demonstrative pronouns and demonstrative adjectives, because the examples are the same, right? So what is the difference? Where is the difference? So here, what is the work of an adjective? An adjective describes a noun or pronoun, isn't it? That is the basic work of an adjective. So how do you identify whether it is a demonstrative adjective or it is a demonstrative pronoun? So a demonstrative adjective will always be followed by a noun or pronoun which it is referring to, right? But as far as demonstrative pronouns are concerned, they are not going to be followed, rather they are going to replace a noun, right? So for example, if I say, that car is mine, so there this word that is doing the work of a demonstrative adjective. Why? Because it is followed by car, isn't it? So car is a noun. Whereas if I say, that red dress is mine. So here again, that red dress is what is, that here is doing the work of an adjective. Or if you want to say that my car is there, or those are my pens. So when you say those are my pens, so what do you, this word those is not doing the work of an adjective, it is doing the work of a pronoun, because it is not immediately followed by a noun, isn't it? Those are my pens. So the noun here is used in the end. So which is why you're always remember that demonstrative adjectives will be immediately followed by a noun or a pronoun that they're describing, whereas demonstrative pronouns are going to replace them. Clear? So let's go ahead and look at some examples so that you have a better clarity. So here, give me that blue bottle. So that is immediately followed by a noun. Hence, it's doing the work of a demonstrative adjective. Or here also, this time I won't fail you. Or for that matter, these chocolates are delicious, those flowers are beautiful, these mangoes are rotting, or this day could not get any better. So here in all of these, this, that, those, these words are doing the work of demonstrative adjective. Okay, so adjectives of comparison. Don't we all face comparison sometime or other in our life, isn't it? So these words, which are used to compare are referred or come in the category of adjectives of comparison. Now, depending upon how much you want to compare, right? So if you want to compare, if you want to compare amongst all, right? So you will use the highest degree of comparison. If you want to compare between two and find out which one is better, in that case you'll use an intermediate degree, right? Or in case you don't want to compare and you directly want to describe a noun or a pronoun, in that case you'll use the first degree, right? So here is an example. For example, good, better, best. So here good, for example, he is good in the work that he does. So here you're not comparing, right? So that's the first degree or the least form of comparison. Then he is better than Riya, but not as good as Ram. So here you are comparing between two, and hence you use the second degree of comparison. But if you want to use the third degree, which is so he is best of all, or his work is the best of all. So here you use the maximum degree of comparison, right? So depending upon how much you want to compare, you will use different forms. So here are different examples. Bad, worse and worst. If you want to say, you want to make it the worst of all, in that case you'll use the third degree. If you want to still make it, it's okay, it is bad but not as bad, so you might want to call it worse. And if you want to just call something bad, you will just use this word, right? Or little, less, least, or for that matter, much, more and most, or far, farther, farthest. So these are, depending upon how much you want to describe or how much you want to compare, you can use different forms. So these are just few examples. There are many such different forms of adjectives which you can use depending upon how much you want to compare. So now let's go ahead and practice some questions just to make your knowledge, or just to, everything that we've just studied, let's just put it together and practice a few questions. Okay, so we saw dash animals at the zoo. So we saw many animals at the zoo. How dash oranges did you put in the box? So how many oranges did you put in the box? Obviously, because they are all countable nouns, right? So you're going to use many with it. The peaches are so dash that I can't eat them. The peaches are so hard. So here, what are you doing? You're telling about the quality, right? Okay, so in this case, how much and how many, what were you telling? You were telling about the quantity. Mr. Menon hurt his dash leg in a car accident. So hurt his right leg. My knife is sharp, but yours is blunt. I like to dress up dash clothes at work. I like to dress up in clean clothes. The dash puppy hid behind the flower pot. The naughty puppy hid behind the flower pot. So here, all these words, what were they doing? They were telling you, or they were describing the nouns or pronouns, isn't it? So they were doing the work of adjectives. Okay, so you have all the answers here ready for you for your practice. We'll go ahead and practice another exercise so that you are better clear. Okay, so these are comparative forms, right? We studied about them, isn't it? So how do you compare? How do you do the comparison? So for example, popular, the second form would be more popular and most popular. Flat, flatter, flattest. Many, more and most. Happy, happier and happiest, depending upon how happy you are and you want to tell it to someone, and you want to attach a degree as to or you want to describe, you want to tell how happy you are. So in that case, you're going to use these words. Bad, worse and worst. Near, nearer, nearest. Modern, more modern and most modern, long, longer and longest. Now nice, how do you describe that? Nice, nicer, nicest. Exciting, more exciting, most exciting, right? So in this way you can compare and go ahead and put forward whatever you want to describe. So here you have the answers ready for you for your practice. This was all about adjectives. We will see you again in the next video. Till that time, keep learning with Tutorials Point and Tutorix. Have a good day.